The first time he stepped onto the crystal step, he thought the world was too bright for its own good. The plains shimmered like frozen waves under 100 suns, and every ridge glowed with specks that responded to footsteps with soft sparks. He stood there in silence as the shuttle rose behind him, leaving him in the heartland of the Lysari clans. The air hummed with a faint rhythm, as if the land itself breathed in slow pulses. He had come for one reason. He was going to marry Lyra. She was a warrior from the Lysari people, known for their strength, their honor, and the strange light that flowed under their skin. He had met her during an exchange mission after a battlefield rescue where he had helped shield her squad. She had spoken little at first, yet her steady gaze and calm conviction had stayed in his mind. Over time, they wrote messages, shared memories, and slowly built a bond that surprised both worlds. Now he was here to join her family. In Lysari custom, the bond was not only between partners. The clan itself had to accept the union. He was ready for challenges, tests, and long ceremonies. He expected difficulties. He did not expect what actually happened. He walked toward the towering hall made of living stone, its surface shifting like water. The Lysari built with crystalline organisms that adapted to their presence. As he approached, the hall opened without sound. Inside stood Lyra and her many sisters. He froze. He knew she had siblings. She had mentioned them, but she had not told him she had 14 sisters. Every one of them stood tall, glowing faintly, each with a different pattern of light under her skin. Some carried spears. Some carried scrolls. Some wore armor. Some wore flowing garments made of silver fibers. Lyra stepped forward. Her voice was steady and warm. She told him she was glad he had traveled so far. She told him that the clan welcomed his presence. She told him that their father would join them soon. She told him all of this as if she had not noticed his shock. Her sisters, however, noticed everything. One stepped closer and circled him once. Another leaned in to study his eyes. Another touched his shoulder briefly and nodded. Another walked around him with an expression of recognition, as if she had predicted this meeting in a dream. They studied him with curiosity that was neither hostile nor polite. It was something else entirely. Lyra waved them back gently. She explained that her sisters wanted to confirm something. He asked what that something was. She hesitated for a moment before telling him the truth. Her words echoed along the crystalline walls. Her people believed humans carried a rare spark that resonated with Lysari instincts. She had told her sisters about his courage and his calm nature. Their interest had grown more than she expected. He swallowed slowly and tried to keep his posture steady. He reminded himself he had come here to marry her. He was not here to impress the entire clan. Yet her sisters kept staring at him as if he was carrying some invisible treasure. Their father arrived soon after. He was taller than all of them, with lines of silver light running along his arms. He welcomed the visitor with a firm grip and a nod. He said the clan respected humans because they held firm under pressure and did not falter in chaos. He said Lyra had chosen well. He said the bonding trials would begin soon. He followed Lyra into another chamber where glowing platforms hovered above a pool of clear liquid. She explained the first test would measure harmony. The platforms shifted in response to inner focus. A pair had to move across them together. If their steps fell out of rhythm, the platforms would destabilize. He looked at Lyra with a grin and said he had good balance. She laughed softly and told him to prove it. They began the trial. Each platform rose when they stepped forward. They moved slowly at first, then faster as the rhythm deepened. He watched her steps. She watched his. Without speaking, they matched each other perfectly. When they reached the final platform, the hall glowed brighter as if acknowledging their unity. Lyra's smile lit the entire chamber. Her sisters watched from a distance. A few whispered to each other. A few nodded with genuine admiration. The second trial measured endurance. They entered a chamber filled with shifting winds. Each gust carried a different pressure. They had to walk together to the center and return without losing their footing. Lyra braced herself and moved through the storm with precision. He followed her, bracing against the invisible force. The winds changed suddenly and hit his side. He stumbled slightly, but regained balance. She saw it and adjusted her path to support him. They finished the trial side by side. When they stepped out, her sisters gathered again. One offered him a drink made of glowing nectar. Another asked how he remained calm. Another inspected his arm where the wind had struck. Their eyes held admiration that grew deeper with each moment. The third trial measured spirit. They stood before a prism that reflected emotion. Lyra placed her hand upon it. The prism glowed with steady violet light, which represented clarity. He placed his hand next. The prism shone with deep golden light, filled with warmth and steady strength. When their hands touched the prism together, the lights merged into a radiant white glow. Lyra's father stepped forward. He said the trials were complete. He said the bond was strong. He said their union was approved. He placed a crystalline band on Lyra's wrist and another on his. The two bands shimmered and connected through a faint beam. He exhaled slowly with relief. He had succeeded. He had earned the right to marry her. He turned to her with a grateful smile. She took his hand gently and smiled back, but he noticed something he had not expected. Her sisters were all standing much closer now. Their eyes were brighter. Their expressions were softer. Their interest was no longer subtle. He quickly realized the human spark that Lyra had mentioned affected them as well. One sister stepped forward and said he carried a rare harmony that resonated with all Lysari. Another said she had never seen a prism glow so brightly. Another said he showed courage while remaining gentle. Another said the clan had underestimated humans. Lyra looked slightly amused, but not surprised. She told him that in Lysari culture, admiration was expressed openly and directly. Her sisters admired him not only for completing the trials, but also for the inner qualities he displayed. He nodded cautiously. Then another sister stepped forward and made her statement. She said she desired him. He nearly choked. Before he could respond, another sister, she also felt drawn to him. Another added that she did as well. Another followed. Then another. Soon every sister had spoken in agreement. Their words echoed around the hall with sincerity. He stared at Lyra in panic. She raised a calming hand and explained that their statements were not proposals. They were expressing instinctive recognition. Lysari could sense inner resonance. His presence stirred something in all of them. It was a rare phenomenon. She told him this was not a threat to their bond. Instead, it meant he would be respected by the clan for the rest of his life. Her father stepped forward once more. His tone was calm. He explained that the Lysari sisters admired strength and harmony. Their resonance did not mean conflict. He said their admiration was a blessing for future unity. He told the visitor he had nothing to fear. Even with the reassurance, he felt overwhelmed. 14 sets of glowing eyes fixated on him. Lyra gently pulled him aside and walked with him to an outside balcony overlooking the glowing plains. She told him to breathe. She told him to trust her. She told him her sisters respected boundaries and would not cross them. She reminded him that the bond between them was recognized and sacred. He nodded slowly. He trusted her. He trusted her more than he trusted anything else in that moment. She leaned her forehead against his and told him everything would be steady from now on. He calmed himself. The plains shimmered under the twilight glow. A warm breeze passed through. He took her hand. She squeezed gently. Later that night, the clan held a ceremony to celebrate the new bond. Light spirals rose into the sky. The air vibrated with soft tones produced by crystalline instruments. Lyra's sisters danced in patterns that reflected ancient stories. He stood beside Lyra as elders gifted them woven crystal strands that symbolized unity. During the celebration, her sisters approached him one by one. Each expressed admiration again, but in a respectful and formal way. One gifted him a crystal shard that glowed when held by someone truthful. Another gave him a cloak lined with soft, radiant threads. Another presented a seed that would grow into a memory plant. He accepted each gift with gratitude and humility. As the night continued, Lyra took his hand and guided him to a quiet ridge. She told him she was proud of him. She told him she had known he would handle the trials with grace. She told him she had expected her sisters to react strongly, but not quite this strongly. He laughed softly and told her he was still processing everything. She sat beside him on the ridge. She told him that Lysari instinct recognized true harmony without hesitation. She told him he had that harmony. She told him it was why she had fallen for him. He leaned his shoulder against hers. He told her he felt complete with her. The plains glowed below like a sea of living stars. When dawn approached, the clan prepared for an announcement. Lyra's father summoned everyone to the central hall. He declared that the bond between Lyra and the humans symbolized unity between two species. He said this union would strengthen their future. He said the clan would honor both partners. He then added one last statement. He said that when the human joined the clan, he would also become a symbol of inspiration. He said many Lysari, especially Lyra's sisters, resonated with him strongly. He explained that this resonance was a gift. He said the clan would use this symbol to guide its future path toward peace and strength. Lyra squeezed his arm comfortingly. After the ceremony, her sisters surrounded him again. This time their admiration was calm and focused. They acknowledged Lyra's bond with him. They expressed that their desire was not possession, but connection. They valued who he was. They wished to learn from him. They wished to walk beside him in future missions. They wished to guard him if needed. He realized something important. Their desire was not romantic competition. It was a form of deep respect that came from their culture. They admired strength and harmony in a person. He represented both. He stood taller. He bowed to them respectfully. They bowed back. Lyra approached him. She asked if he felt overwhelmed. He admitted he did, but in a good way. She smiled and told him that becoming part of a Lysari clan meant gaining a vast family. She promised him he would never face anything alone again. He believed her. In the days that followed, he trained with her sisters. One taught him how to read crystal currents. Another taught him how to track movement across the glowing plains. Another taught him how to channel calm under intense pressure. The sisters encouraged him constantly. They admired every bit of progress he made. Lyra watched often with a proud gaze. She liked seeing her family accept him so warmly. She liked seeing him grow stronger. She liked knowing he carried a spark that united so many hearts. At the end of the week, a final gathering was held. Lyra's father officially declared him part of their clan. He placed a glowing crest on the human's chest, marking his new place among them. Lyra's sisters cheered with radiant smiles. The hall shone brighter than ever. He stood beside Lyra. She placed her hand in his. He told her he had come expecting trials, but not expecting so much admiration. She told him that admiration would only grow with time. He told her he would do his best to honor their clan. She told him he already had. As they looked over the shimmering plains, he felt something warm settle inside him. He had come to marry one woman, yet he had gained an entire sisterhood's respect. He had won the heart of a warrior and the admiration of her vast family. He had stepped into a new world and found a new purpose. He realized his life would never be simple again. It would be brighter. It would be fuller. It would be surrounded by light and loyalty. He looked at Lyra and felt certain of one thing. He had made the right choice. His journey was only beginning, Dot, and the Lasari clans would walk beside him forever.